Show me your strength.
And they call Captain America a living legend.
Ready? Fight! First attack!
Yo, alright. Let me make sure the levels are good before I start going over shit. Alright, cool. Alright, so got a couple more characters I want to talk about. Let's start off with Ryu, Spider-Man, and Wolverine. So I'm sure if you guys have seen the whole parry video. So first let's just kind of explain how that works. So you input parry with attack plus S, and it does this taunt. It lasts, the total animation lasts 80 frames, and you have active frames in the first 1 through 20, and then after that it has 60 frames of recovery. The reason why I chose this animation was because it lasted a long time, and so it's very difficult to string random animations together and make it look smooth. This one just had a really long amount of frames, so that's why I used it. And then I actually changed his taunt to this move, which I think is kind of cool. So you can taunt people and, you know, during a super or something. I don't know. So let's set up some situations. So after you parry, you do have 3 frames invincibility, so you can actually just hold. You can actually just hold back after you parry the first time. That's weird. Yeah, and so let's say you do, for whatever reason, you parry too early. You know, you are punishable. And of course you can keep linking it too into itself. So let's say you like over parry a move, you think they're gonna do a couple moves, and they end their block string a little earlier. You know, if you spam it too much, you can get, you know, you can definitely get punished. So I'm trying to find a fine line between it being good but not too good, because right now it can also parry supers, which is obviously really good. Let's try again. Yeah, so you can just parry right through supers, or any projectile really. So you see, if you do it just too early, you just get hit. So yeah, again, trying to find that balance to where it's good, but not like too good. And also, it's a skill thing. So if you know how many hits are coming from like a super, for example, then if you practice it in training and you know how many hits exactly it's going to do, then you can punish better than if you were blocking, obviously. So I'm sure you saw that video where I was parrying Chun. I actually memorized exactly how many hits to parry with, and that's why I was able to get that instant punish. So yeah, I want this to be something you have to master, like you go to the lab with to learn. Like, do I parry once or do I parry twice here? You know, it's something you're going to want to look into for different situations. It looks like it's only once. Then again, I guess it just depends on where you are. So that's like a situational thing. In some cases, you may not want to parry. I mean, chicken blocking is always a good choice to do too. Of course. Yeah, so right there, I parried twice. See what it looks like in the corner, maybe. Yeah. So it's pretty strong. Again, I want you to have to like master this ability. So once the patch comes out, I suspect you guys will break the shit down, you know, maybe optimize it a bit. And about an air parry, I'm not really sure what animation to use that would last a long time and like not be too good, because chicken blocking is already really good. So if you just chicken block parry and then you just land into instant recovery, seems kind of too good. So right now I'm just doing ground parry for now. Don't know if there'll ever be an air parry, to be honest. So another change for him is when you Shoryu, your window to input a super on the ground is a little more lenient, which is pretty important because you can, I think you can like combo off this. Pretty sure you can. I've seen someone do it. So I think in theory you can actually Denjin super off this and then combo, but I'm not able to do it. I'm sure someone who's really good with Ryu could maybe do it. I'm actually kind of debating on making another input for Denjin so you can do this a little better. Because while I really like the fact that Shoryu OTGs and you need an assist, I think it'd be kind of cool if you could Denjin cancel and then like have to confirm it from super jump or something. So I might do that in the future. Because yeah, it just seems like right now it's kind of eating the inputs into this move. But yeah, I'm sure this window will be sort of useful in some ways. And so Ryu actually has probably one of the strongest assists right now, because in the current build it causes a soft knockdown. So I'm adjusting it so they do an air reset, just to kind of force players to have to air confirm, you know, to follow up. Just so, because I do want his DP to be the best. Like I said with Viper in the last video, I don't want it to be too brain dead, and I want players to have to not just rely on it to you know, trade with the opponent and then just dash up into a combo or something. So yeah, I think that was just probably a little too ridiculous. So yeah, Denjin's currently down super. So I might change that input to make it a little more lenient. Alright, so let's go over Spider-Man. Again, so that's pretty much it for Ryu. I think he's a pretty well balanced character. Just a couple adjustments. Yeah, shoutouts to the skin though, it looks so good. One other thing I want to show you. This is some tech. I think you can do this in default actually, but let's just simulate that again. A little hit. So when you alpha counter, I need more meter. You actually can link Denjin because you're not. The game isn't like registering other inputs. It's just like a clean down, like that, and then you should be able to combo off that. So not only is it a great alpha counter, but it's confirmable with meter. Definitely, I'm sure some of you guys can work something out on that front. And yeah, because the hit stun on Shoryu's a little better, it should should lend way to some decent confirms you may not have been able to do in default. So, alright, and so let's talk about Spider-Man here. Again, I think Spider-Man is in a decent spot, but I still think he needs something else. So I gave him some more mobility. So right now you can super jump at, you can wall jump at super jump height, and you can do it as long as you are next to a wall, like in the air. So you can, if you bounce off a wall, you can dash, bounce, like that. So you can stall a little easier. You can also bounce off the opposing wall on the if you like dash over, which I was able to fix the animation for. I actually was planning on putting this in before, but there were some glitches, so I think I pretty much solved that issue. And I believe you do have to input. Okay, so hold on a second. Yeah, so wall jump is input with up forward. One second, guys. All right. Yeah, so you just do, so if you cross up, you just do reverse direction. So interestingly enough, if you wall bounce, you can actually only wall bounce on the same wall, so you actually can't like dash over, wall bounce, dash over, and wall bounce the other side. You have to land first, so I guess there's some kind of restriction there I'm not really quite sure on. But that's not all. So you guys know how he has this web zip up, which is pretty good because you can do this and then call like an assist. So this is like his version of like Magneto going up and like flying around and calling assists and stuff, which is cool. But we found a way, thanks to tabs, found a way to actually enable another web zip while he, so if he does a ground version, you have another web zip available, but you can't do two in the air. So if you start your web zip in the air, you don't have two. I think that's pretty fair because I just think having two zips in the air is a little ridiculous. But doing this and then having a zip later, I think it's like totally cool. Like I think the one thing that held going up like this, what held that back, was you couldn't zip again after that. But now you can. Like now you can call assist and then you can zip back down, which I think is really, really strong. So I think that's it's just really fun to play with this, just because I love that you can go to super jump height from here. So it's like it's really fitting for the character, and then you can of course wall jump too. So you can like dash, wall jump, just stall out, and then finally come back down or something. So he has like a lot more mobility now, which is pretty cool and fun. And apparently his snapback was pretty bad, like not terrible. It was pretty mid tier. I moved it towards more higher tier snapback data, so now it's -1 on block. So it just when he does a snapback, it's a little more safe. It's harder to punish. Like you can't punish it with a snapback, which also makes the recovery on hit better. So you can set up some better incomings. So I think that helps him a lot. And then finally, I figured out how the maximum spider works in terms of blocking. Just add blocks. So I just improved the recovery on block a little bit. Not like ridiculous, but definitely noticeable. I might make it a little more safe, but I actually think this move is really underrated. Like it doesn't track that well. But it actually has invincibility on startup, which is really good. So I just don't want this to be something people spam a lot. But at the same time, I think it could use some better recovery, so that's what I did. So the recovery is actually 20 frames better. So it went from -54 on block to -34. So that does it for Spider-Man. Again, I think he's pretty good. He has a lot of damage. I think the thing that was holding him back was the fact that he couldn't use multiple zips. And yeah, of course you can just do a normal zip, and then so you can like continue pressure really hard now. Just like that, you know. Just frame traps and getting in that ass with assists. The party doesn't stop with Spider-Man. So let's go over some Wolverine. So Wolverine is an interesting character. It's pretty basic. Let me put some, I want to change some things here. It's a pretty basic character, right? But he has a couple moves that I think could use some love. For example, Tornado Claw, I think is a pretty useless move. Doesn't have any invincibility, and it doesn't lead into anything. The only thing you really use it for is just to like end your combo into like a super, right? So one thing I did was I actually made it confirmable, but only if you mash the hits. So if you mash it, you actually can cancel into Tornado Claw. Come on. Maybe I'm not mashing enough. Yeah, there we go. So you're going to want to use different strengths depending on where you are. So mid-screen you probably want to use the M version. And just combo like that. And again, I think it's totally fair because you have to use a ground bounce anyways. But if you want to, you know, use it, now you can. There's a couple other reasons why you might want to use it. It actually builds more meter when you mash. So the meter gain is actually pretty good. Like especially if you link a lot of mash hits into a super, you're more likely to gain more meter. And again, I think this is relatively okay, just because in the state of EX, I think characters like Wolverine kind of suffer a bit when you have characters that have a lot more zoning tools, better zoning tools, and characters who are better on anti-ground, like Ghost Rider. So now you can build some meter off this a little more effectively. You can kind of notice a big difference too when you do Berserker Rage. Which is pretty nice. So there's also another reason why you might want to go for this move. And let me just set something up real quick. So like for example, if they call hidden missiles, you actually get invincibility during the mash point. So you don't have invincibility on like the startup or anything, right? So you still get hit. But let's say they call missiles, and you have a way to combo into this move. Once you get to the point where you're able to mash the hits, you have invincibility. So I think that's a nice little, it's almost like a reverse of what Ryu has. Oops. See, missiles, it's kind of hard. So I think it'll be easier against some assists than others. Like it might be really good against Vadra, but let me just show you, it is possible here to not get hit. I mean, you can see a lot of the missiles whiffing. Oh, so close. Let's say only get a few missiles come out, you can do like the M version or something. See. So basically the potential is there for you to use it and skip out on getting hit by assists, or at the very least end up in a more favorable position. I swear to God. Yeah, so like right there, that was just a really small example, but definitely avoided the missile there. So that makes it pretty valuable, I think. Better than where it was. And so the invincibility starts up actually in the same frames for both M and H version, but you would use the H version because it has longer frames. It's 12 more frames of invincibility there. So I may add faster invincibility to like the M version, just to make this a little better. Yeah, so I'm sure you guys can definitely put that to good use. And yeah, you can just combo into it now. And you can do it from any version, L or M or H. So yeah, so Wolverine, not too much changed. I may have a couple more plans for him, but not for this video. So let's go to the next character. Let's do we're gonna do some Firebrand, and let me just show you guys some potential that I'm going for. So Firebrand, I think, is also really strong, but when infinites, TAC infinites are going to be removed, he's going to be one of those characters that's probably going to suffer a little bit. So I wanted to give him something extra. So right now he gets a lot of damage from doing like hard tags, where he does this and then tags into a character with an OTG, like Dr. Doom. So I'm kind of toying with this thing now where you can actually use the heavy fireball, and with certain spacing can hard tag. So let me just see if I can show you guys an example here. So it needs to have decent spacing, so you need to like master where Firebrand has to be to enable it correctly. It's just not working right now, but yeah, just like that. So you gotta find that sweet spot. But once you do, you can tag in a lot of characters now. Now Doctor Strange has a tag with Firebrand that's really consistent. I mean, he already had a tag, but it was not really too viable. And you should be able to do this off like extended hits like this. So you can definitely corner carry and then tag after. So the heavy fireball hit stun has been improved. So it raises the synergy a lot for this character. So I think that's a really nice buff for him. And you can tag in more characters than just Doctor Strange, obviously. Ghost Rider is kind of a damage engine now, so theoretically you can tag in Ghost Rider. Just like that. Put a different assist for Firebrand. Like I think the Y assist is good. Yeah, I think that one's good. That's too far. Usually just a dash back in the corner will get you in the right spot. Just like that. And then you can go into your little combo. And yeah, Ghost Rider is a pretty good damage engine now, so and then you can get another 65k off that too. So his damage should be pretty good. So instead of buffing his damage potential, I'm simply buffing his hard tag potential by enabling more characters to synergize with him. I'm not saying every character will, but it's definitely going to be a huge boost for his synergy. And I've tested it with a couple other characters, like Taskmaster can hard tag too, and he's sort of a damage engine. I believe Zero can also hard tag, though it's a little hard to get his Buster up in time. So, but I'm sure it's possible. I just haven't explored it fully. So I think that's a nice little buff for him. I think a lot of players will like, and add some more experimentation. And of course, because the hit stun's better, you can like use this in combos a little better too now. See? It doesn't just drop right away. So it definitely has a lot of use now, just in general. He also has like an X Factor loop too. Obviously, try not to make it an infinite on point, which it's not. You can loop it quite a bit though on point. I just think the damage scaling is so bad that it's not worth it. But who knows? I could be proven wrong. So see, you can keep looping it for a little bit. The hit stun is extremely high because I wanted to make it so that you could hard tag off like really extended hits with Firebrand. So there's some drawback to it, that someone could just do this. But the damage you're getting is so terrible that it might not be worth it at all. Just look at the meter build, see how much meter builds. So that's quite a lot. I'll probably tweak that to try to find a fine line between looping it too much and giving it better hard type potential. So there's definitely a balance I can find there. I just need to go over it a little more. And again, I want to release this version in a state where I'm very comfortable, where there's like I'm not making any mistakes. Where it's just too silly. So, yeah. So I think Firebrand, Ghost Rider has some much better synergy now. That's for sure. A couple other small things. So the scaling on his specials did get improved. It went to 20% from 10. I didn't increase the scaling on his normals. And then his Dark Fire, the duration of it just lasts a little longer. So not a big deal. But like say you have Doctor Strange. Like you can get a little bit of the last hit going on this. Like in certain, you might have to space yourself out. But I think the longer duration might help with Team Hyper combo stuff and DHCs a little more. I might make that a little better too. Yeah, the heavy fireball already does juggled and back. And you can't have it juggled too fast, otherwise they just drop out of the hard tag. Like if it's not, if the juggle is too much going to the x-axis, then they actually just flip out because they fly out too far before the fire hits. Best thing I can do is just lower the hit stun to a point where he can do a corner carry and then still manage to link that safely, or you know, in a good way. Oh, I should combo, but yeah, that's about 1,000,000 damage right there. Alright, let's go over, so I went over, okay, next is going to be Frank, Chun-Li, and I guess Iron Man. Alright, Frank. So, yeah, Frank is also one of those characters I think is pretty good. Like, even just in default Marvel. Actually, let me get a better example. On the opposite side, do Morgan. But I've heard some issues that he kind of has problems with zoning, and another thing I've noticed is that his synergy with characters is pretty much only limited to him getting levels, which is obviously fine. That's kind of your game plan. But one thing I wanted to do was make his Funny Face Crusher a level 1. Well, it already is a level 1. I mean, while he is level 1. So you don't need to get levels now to use this move. Which I think is really important, because now it opens up your team synergy more. So now you can actually do anti-air DHCs. So if you imagine you could play Thor and Frank together, or another character, MODOK Frank, for example, and you can do some DHC traps. So that opens up a synergy beyond just doing whiff leveling. Sorry, I'm just picking Bond Wonderland because it's easy to see everything, and it also doesn't lag when I stream, so that's why. Also, he apparently has a useless move that I never really knew. Yeah, he actually could have useless moves. So when he's in level 3, apparently his survival tool is really, really bad. So what I did was I made it confirmable by sucking the opponent in. See how they get drawn in. And then at the end of the knockdown, and then you can actually combo like that, see? So that's the ground version. Some characters are going to be easier than others. Morgan has kind of a weird hurt box, so she might be a little more difficult. But if you do a slide first, they actually pop up a little higher, so you can actually confirm with the standing light, just like that. If you don't use the slide first and just do it straight, then you have to use a crouching light. I'm sure Frank players will have no issue comboing into this. So that's the ground version. Let's talk about the air version now. Again, it drags the opponent in, and then it gives you enough time to actually link a combo after as well, or just a jump S. Like, when he's at level 3, I mean, that's all he needs is two of those moves, and he's a level 4. So you honestly shouldn't need that many broomstick combos to like really get yourself in the position to level up. Yeah, because apparently I didn't even realize that that move was actually really poor. But that should really bring the character out a little more if you happen to get level 3. Like one combo and yeah, one combo and you're level 4 again. So level 3 is a little better now, which is nice. I think you guys should enjoy that, and it's not too much of a buff for me to get upset about, because like I said, I think Frank is really good already, but I can see how he needs that. So another complaint I've heard from him is that he can't handle zoning like at all, which I think is fine, because once he hits his levels, his chainsaws are really good. But I guess to throw him a little bit of a bone, what I did was I made the zombie destroy projectile on the toss. So only when he swings the zombie around does it destroy a projectile. So for instance, the zombie's on the opposite side. When the projectile comes, you're going to get hit. But it's a pretty good hitbox, so you can actually anti-zone now with this move. See right there, you got hit. But I am debating this for a lot of reasons. Because I think the zombie move is already pretty strong. And once he throws the zombie, the zombie is actually immune to projectiles anyways. So yeah, he just goes through. SRKL. Oh, you mean the little kick? The feint kick? This? Oh. I think it's supposed to be useless. I'm not really sure what you would do with that, to be honest. In any case, this is pretty good now, I think. Like, let's say we set some zoning patterns for Morgan up. Let's try again. Like, so if she's spamming that shit, he will defeat projectiles and get the zombie out now, but he may trade. That was the heavy version. That was pretty good. And then we also have to factor assist too. Like if Morgan's calling like plasma beam and stuff, it's gonna be much harder for him to get this started. Or not plasma beam, but you know, bolts or whoever character they use a beam assist. But yeah, this is really strong. Might be too strong. Cause yeah, he's just like, she's not in astral vision, obviously. But yeah, he's beating her. Let's set up some astral. Something like that. Yeah, I mean he's gonna get fucked in astral. That case right there. So if you time it well, you can actually hit both. You can hit both soul fists, which is kind of what I wanted. So that's pretty good. So I'm not sure if this is fair, but at the very least, you guys know it's something I'm thinking about. I mean, you gotta factor too, once you get to level 4, I mean, how annoying is he gonna be? And yeah, we still have to factor in like hidden missiles and stuff. But I'm not sure. Cape, can you answer me? Do people use this move in combos? Like, is there an optimal combo where you use that? Because lowering or increasing the recovery would make it more fair. But I don't want to nerf that because if people use this for their combos. But one thing I do know is people do use this walker in combos. I know that. Like I've seen Fizzy Cups throw this shit out, you know, as an optimal combo. Yeah, it's probably too good. I'll see if I can find a way to balance it. Otherwise, I'll just cut it. So one more little thing, just a nice visual fix. So when he calls a zombie and you cross up, the zombie will autocorrect to the correct side, just on the animation itself right there. Because right now, if you do it and you cross up, the zombie's like behind her and she's like looking at you. Like Morgan would be looking at your character and the zombie would be like behind her. So it's like a weird teleport where the zombie just instantly appears on the other side, but at least visually it looks a little like cleaner. So I think I think that's better. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, the Kotosuka back zombie is used for combos and stuff. That's good to know. So yeah, I'll probably just remove that projectile destruction. Alright, let's talk about Chun-Li. So I'm kind of having this internal debate right now because TAC infinites are getting removed. And the way we're removing the infinites is when you do a re-jump in the air, like say you're in a TAC state, and then you do a re-jump where you just jump. That's where the infinite ends. So it actually takes away the TAC. So one thing for Chun-Li is she can actually TAC without needing to be on the ground by using this move a lot, right? I'm sure you guys have seen one of the early TAC concepts, like way back in the day, where, you know, she would just basically do this move over and over. And I'm not a Chun player, so I'm not the best example here. Like, let's see. All I know is that once you get to the top of the screen, you can just keep doing it, like forever almost. So this move itself is the infinite state is getting removed literally on this move. So, and again, the reason why it's a debate for me is because she's one of the only characters that has this property where she can infinite without needing to touch the ground. And yeah, so I don't know. I don't feel all that comfortable having her being the only TAC character. I think it should be even across the board. Now, I understand that there may be a TAC combo she would prefer to have, where basically she would want those M's, but not necessarily an infinite. To be honest, I'm not really quite sure how to balance it. It's kind of either there or it's not. Now, there may be a way for me to adjust the super jump hit stun of that move so that the hit stun itself is better. Even though it takes away the TAC infinite state, it still gives you enough hit stun so that if you do an extended combo, you can use it. So that's something I'm working on right there. So there's one thing about Chun-Li that a lot of people have requested, and it's making her level 3 actually connect properly. So that final hit, so after she does the little bird kick animation and she goes into that DP right there, that is the capture state. So let's say, for instance, you do, if you set this up in training mode right now, like if you were to set an opponent jumping and then you stand next to him in level 3, 100% it will whiff, right? So what I did, with the help of tabs 2, we figured this out. We actually added an autocorrect animation in between where this final hit would connect. So now what Chun-Li does is, to fix this error, she will actually go towards the opponent on that final hit so that you properly enter the correct animation. So this is actually really, really nice for her, because I know a lot of players have had issues with that. I'll just show you an example as guarding so that she does in fact autocorrect. So that was the best solution we came up with to allow her to make this move actually work correctly. Because this is probably one of the only level 3s in the game currently, an EX, that has a lot of problems. Because obviously we fixed Nemesis. So yeah, I think Chun-Li players will like this a lot. I hope you guys are happy. So let's talk about some of her alpha counters real quick. Oops, that's the wrong one. So her beta assist was changed. It's actually changed to light version. That wasn't really something I cared to even change, but I guess there was a request to make it light version. I think that's just to make the confirms a little easier. Because I guess the M version, the default, was a little too hard to use. So if you alpha counter it, I just added some invincibility to it, which it actually has invincibility in default, but now it's the light version that has invincibility, which in the current EX version it does not. So that was kind of something I wanted to address. And I'm sure you Chun players can figure out a way to combo off this. The only way I know how right now is just lightning legs. I'm not really sure how to do anything else after that. I guess right there, just S. Something like that. Might be easier in the corner or something. What's the infinite? Oh, you're just talking about just the default infinites. Okay. All right. Let's look at her gamma assist. So what I did with the gamma assist, the lightning legs, is I made it the same properties as the point version. So when you alpha counter it, you can combo. To be honest, I don't even know if you could do that in default, but I did it anyways. So if you happen to alpha counter her lightning legs assist, then you can get all the normal canceling properties as if you used it on point, which is nice. All right, let's go over Iron Man. Iron Man is probably in the top 5 in my opinion. Definitely top 10, and he's always been a good support, so he is definitely in the upper echelon of characters. But there were still a couple things I wanted to make a little better for him, and it was the hit stun on normal jumping moves like jump M. Not super jump hit stun, just normal jump hit stun. Because if you notice, he really can't combo for dicks off jump M, but now he can. So he gets air to air confirms now, which he had at super jump height, but not at normal jump height, which I thought was just a little silly. Like I said, he is top tier, but and he does have some weaknesses, but I just didn't think that was a weakness that he should have had. Alright, so yeah, all of his regular jumping normals, including down jump H and up jump H, all have better hit stun, only at regular jump, not super jump. And there's also kind of a loop you can do now, where you can actually just loop this missile over and over in the current version, if you get the spacing correctly, which I think is just a little silly. So you can actually do it like a bunch of times in the current version. Right now I kind of have it limited to about 3 or so. So what I did was I simply just removed the soft knockdown, but then I improved the hit stun a bit so that you can still get some kind of combo mid-screen, or even just like dash up. Like this. Yeah, so you can still do the dash up combo, but I just didn't, like I said, I'm trying to find stupid things, and I'm not trying to kill tech or anything, but I'm sure you guys understand that we can't have a game that's basically Mugen over here. So we need to find some kind of reasonable balance, right? Okay, and then his grounded smart bomb, I'm actually improving the hit stun a little bit, which might be a little silly, because I was able to link this like over and over, but that was, if you saw earlier, that was because I wasn't doing like anything extended. So like if you just do like a normal B&B, you get a little more hit stun to relaunch if you wanted. You might have to link crouch M first. But yeah, it also means you may be able to link a raw repulsor after it too. But yeah, it's basically to help him out just a little bit. Though again, I said he's really top tier, so what kind of help does he need? I'm still iffy on making the smart bomb hit stun a little better, because I think in theory you can actually link a bunch of these. It's a little hard, but you can definitely do it. So. Alright, and then his assists have gotten a little better as well. So his Unibeam actually spawns even further back now. So you see how it spawns totally behind Frank. The current version, I think it spawns like right on top of where Frank would be. So if you call Plasma Beam, doing Plasma Beam, it's basically same location. So it's better, for sure. And then Repulsor assist. It also spawns, oops, wrong one. It also spawns back. But, so what I did is I actually returned the frame data Repulsor back to default. So there is no 10 frame delay. But I made it spawn further back. So this is actually just like a get off me assist now. Because basically if they're like attacking you, you may actually be out of range for them to Happy Birthday Iron Man. Because I think the current Repulsor, or at least the default version, he spawns in front of you, so he gets Happy Birthday more. So now it's like your own little lariat assist, sort of. Obviously not as good, but definitely more useful, and it keeps him out of danger a little more. So that was actually kind of what I originally wanted to do with that. But now that I understand how the animations work a little more, it only made sense to go that route. And again, this, because it spawns this far, it doesn't allow the really easy Firebrand unblockable, which again is why I made it a 10 frame delay in the first place. So now there is no delay, but it spawns further back, and it still can't infinite, or still cannot provide an unblockable, which I think is important. But even better, let's say you alpha counter it, you can actually link into Repulsor Blast now, which I think is really, really cool, and I know a lot of players have been requesting that. So it makes the alpha counter version a lot more deadlier too. Not sure how you even convert this mid-screen. But I think the whole point of having that option is if they were to throw out fireballs or something, like say they're just chucking fireballs and you alpha counter that, then it makes you a little safer on recovery. So you get to perform an action, because if you just let the whole thing play out, it's slower. Plus, that explosion is really good at destroying other projectiles. So it's just a little better alpha counter-wise. And I know a lot of people have been requesting that too since early on. And his missiles assist is getting improved too. which I guess is crazy. So now what it does, I've learned a little more about how projectiles work too. He actually shoots 2 rockets, and they both go forward. Right now they're pretty ridiculous because they combo into each other. So I might increase that gap a little more. And the animation looks a little wonky because you see how his little rocket thing is angling down, but they shoot, you know, they shoot whatever. They shoot completely horizontally. I don't know, I'm still iffy. I might just return the old animation because I like this animation because he crouches and it makes his hurt box a little smaller. Though I might just change it back to how it is in the current version where he shoots it from his chest. And I don't think the chest looks too weird, to be honest. But yeah, this rocket assist is really good now. It doesn't scale as bad as Unibeam. But the startup should be weaker. And I will double check that because I don't want to, you know, overtake that Unibeam assist. But I want it to provide a different type of assist. And it is pretty good in combo extensions too. Like it causes a really good knockdown because it has the same hit stun as it does on point. And then again, if you alpha counter it, he will just do the point version, which angles down, just so that he has better recovery. Because otherwise, he would play that entire animation out. And it's actually pretty sick because you can still combo off it. You know, at the right distance, of course. So, yeah. So, Iron Man's top tier and he's getting a little better. But we'll see on that. Not totally sold there. So I'm almost done with the stream. I don't want to go too far because, again, I want these to be into smaller segments so that they're easier to consume, I suppose. Alright, so Viewtiful Joe. So first thing I did was I removed the visual bug on the bomb, so you don't see the stupid boomerang in his hand anymore before he throws it, which is just a nice little thing. Doesn't look as distracting, I guess. So it's pretty cool. I really like this move a lot. I need to find more Joe players to actually abuse this and tell me how broken it is. But the fact that it causes friendly fire on your own character, I think is fine. Especially, so if you throw like 2 bombs and they land on the top of each other, they will explode. Which you may never known because you'd never see 2 bombs on the field. But yeah, if the bombs touch each other, they explode. So I think that's part of the whole difficulty. So if you spam too many of them, you could get blown up yourself. Yeah, that's possible to do, smart bombs like that. Could probably try that, see how it works. So the only, I think Joe is pretty good right now. I'm not sure he needs anything else, to be honest. But so right now, I think his alpha assist, since I nerfed it, is underperforming. So I changed it to the light version, so that it just goes forward now instead of like taking forever to actually hit the opponent. And yeah, of course it will track. But what made it really good in the very early versions was the fact that it did 3 hits, and they each had like 5 durability, or was it 3 durability? So it was like 9 durability or something like that, which is pretty insane. So right now it just does 1 hit like a normal projectile, and it has 5 durability points. So you can it'll trade now with normal fireballs, which I think is fair because it's a tracking fire assist. So basically you're giving Joe an assist that can help control the skies a little better. Like when a character's stalling, like Doom or something. So I think that's pretty good. And also he doesn't taunt anymore, so he just throws it now. Which again, I think a 5-point durability, it's 1 hit projectile, coming out pretty quick, I think is fair. So of course it does track, which makes it good. But if you guys didn't know, the trend of other fireballs, other fireball assists like Ryu's and was it Spider-Man's? Who else has a fireball assist? Can't think of any more. But yeah, any fireball assist has more durability, except for this one. This one just has 5. The other ones would have like 6 or 7, so that they would take 2 fireballs to destroy. But this one just takes 1. And so then if it is alpha countered, you can actually choose to charge it or not. So it goes into the point version of the light boomerang, which is cool. So for whatever reason, you can just hold the light button and then charge and get the better boomerang. So it's a custom alpha counter. And now the lingering fireball will not interact. Once it hits an opponent or hits a fireball, it's done, because it only does 1 hit. And yeah, it is a little weird that it stays on the screen for so long. But if it didn't stay on the screen so long, then it wouldn't be a very good tracking assist, because it'd be easier to run away from, because it wouldn't last as long as it does. Because yeah, this is one of those projectiles that is persistent, and it will stay until its duration is over. And so its duration basically has to remain that way for it to be effective. So here's another really cool thing I think you guys will like. I know there's probably like literally 2 people out there who'll get upset about this, but his shocking pink assist will no longer hurt you on point. So it doesn't cause friendly fire anymore, which I think overall it's really good, because because of the soft knockdown, it has really good combo potential and it OTGs. And I think the fact that you have to block it, your own assists, I think it makes it kind of bad. Even though it's probably his best assist in default game, I think that no friendly fire will make this assist a lot more worthwhile, especially because he has the tracking boomerang assist. So I thought it was important to make this move better, to give people a reason to use it. And because it doesn't cause friendly fire, you can like kick it around more, right? You can kick it towards your opponent and not have to worry about blocking it. Like that or whatever. So I think this assist is going to be pretty good now. Like really, really good. Which is cool. I think that's cool. So, like I said, some people might be upset about this. Because there's like one really stupid glitch that shouldn't exist where you do a combo with Wesker, or like I think maybe Team Taskmaster has this, where you basically can counter the projectile of the bomb and then you get a damage reset, and it counts as the same combo. But there's all these really specific situations in order for that glitch to work. Like for example, I think you can't actually call an assist at all until you like I don't think you can. I think that the conditions are supposed to be for it to work is like you literally can't call any assist until that first time you do it, and then it will do the damage glitch. There's like some really specific things about it that make it not practical or good. So anyone who used Wesker Joe bomb for that reason, I'm sorry, but I think this makes the assist better overall. Also, it removes the infinite on player one side where you would block it and then you would continually get infinites, like Nemesis had one. There were a couple other characters that had ones where you would do a move with like a lot of hits done and block, and then call the assist, do the move again, block, repeat. And that was like some really dumb glitch that also wasn't really supposed to work, but it did, and it only worked for specific characters, and it also only worked for player one, which is dumb. And then finally, yes, Doctor Strange players might not enjoy this very much because they actually can use the bomb to trigger the counter super and get extended damage that way. I definitely understand that point, but for every other character in the game, this is a buff. So I see it that I'm just looking at it in the direction of on the overall scope of how good this assist could be. I think it's better in general for it not to cause friendly fire, and that was why I did that, because literally the only practical tech is with Doctor Strange, which again I don't even think he needs, because he already does a shit ton of damage, and because it doesn't cause friendly fire, you can probably use that bomb a little more effectively without the counter. So yeah, that's that. So overall, Joe's assist have gotten better. So let's move on to Hawkeye. And there's really not too much change. Oh, there's one more thing I want to show. If you alpha counter the bomb, it will use the... Oh, that's weird. It'll use the point version. What the heck? Okay, I need to look into that. I don't know why it's doing that. It's just insta-exploding. It's supposed to use the point version of that bomb, and you can actually button glitch it, but for some reason it's acting really weird. Yeah, it's acting really weird right now. So ignore that, I'll fix that. If I can't do anything with it, then it's just going to be the non-friendly fire version. But again, like the boomerang, I wanted to give you the option to button glitch it so that you can hold the charge on the alpha counter. But I'm not sure why that's happening. But yeah, if I can't make it work, then I'll just make it the assist version. So Hawkeye, last character for the stream. What I saw from what Punisher was doing with this quarter circle forward S move in the air was really strong. Probably too strong, in the sense that it was just shutting down too many characters, I think. Just because like they kind of have to make a read on how to approach him, since he already has a lot of arrows that cover the ground really well. Now he gets a move that covers like defensively for characters that come in on him. So as you can see, it's just one arrow, which is quite a bit of a nerf. It is a really big nerf from where it was, but I think, to be honest, this was a move that he didn't have before, so you shouldn't be too upset that it doesn't shoot 3 arrows now. It only shoots 1. And it still covers an angle he can't really, he couldn't cover before in the default game. So its practicality and use is just to kind of keep people in check, but not to completely destroy everything and control the screen. Because you can make the triple arrow version spread itself, like you see how it spreads itself on this version. You can make this version spread itself in the current version and cover a ton of ground. And you have to factor in you're using assist as well to make his arrows even better. So yeah, don't get too upset that it got nerfed, because he didn't have it before, and now he does. So I think it's going to be one of those moves that is not going to be heavily prioritized to be used, but it's extra utility. So I think it's more fair, in my opinion. And then the only other thing that I've done for him is his beta assist. If it's alpha countered, you can actually, what he will do is he'll just do a roll, and then you can actually choose your follow-up button after that. So you can just roll if you want to. You can leave your friends behind, but if you don't roll, then you're no friend of mine. So so yeah, you can actually cancel it into any follow-up. So you can cancel it into L or M or H. So the options are aplenty. That's a really good alpha counter. So just being able to do just the roll itself, I think is cool. And the fact that you can cancel it into whatever you want, I think it's pretty awesome. Not the best alpha counter in the game, but cool. I think you may be able to combo up the ice version if you're close enough. Oh, he's small. He's too small. I don't think that was a combo. No. I could maybe make that a custom alpha counter where you can combo off it, like a little bit better recovery or something. So that should do it, guys. Archive will be up in a bit, so again, I will timestamp the characters, so just stay tuned for that. Thanks again for watching, and I will try to do more of these and give you some insight on the next patch. Thanks.